Hello everybody. Tanya here from the Side Hustle Institute. I'm hoping that we might get some people come on live today, and if we don't, if you're watching the replay, awesome. So I'm Tanya, and our focus here at the Side Hustle Institute is to help women build online businesses so they can leave their 9-to-5 job, do work that they feel has an impact in the world, and do work that they love. So I've been thinking that when you first start out in building an online business, if you're new to marketing, there's a lot to learn, and it can be really overwhelming. So I thought it might be quite nice to jump in here each week and share some training tips based on what I think would be helpful, as well as what I'm hearing from the community that we're building over here. So today's topic is actually from someone who recently joined the community and asked me this question. So I thought I'd start with this. So yes, this is called the weekly edition, and it would be fantastic if you do have questions, if you can add them to the comments in this post or messenger me on Facebook. That way I can be talking to topics that would actually be really helpful for you. So today's topic, though, is why would you build a website when setting up a Facebook page is much quicker and easier? And I think this is a really good question to ask, but it also sends off some warning bells for me when someone's starting their online business, and I want to talk to that at the end of this clip. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. It's the first time I've done this, so I've written some very simple notes in Evernote, but I thought it'd be easier to follow along if you can actually see something written down. So let's see how we go here. Okay, brilliant. Looks like we're sharing. So I'm just going to make this bigger. So I imagine you're just seeing my Evernote page, hopefully. So yes, the question is, why would you build a website when setting up a Facebook page is so much easier? So let's talk about Facebook first of all, and the pros and cons of a Facebook page. So yes, setting up a Facebook page is very quick and easy to do. If you've got your imagery ready, if you know what you want to say, what your about section is, you can have your page set up in about 5 minutes, so incredibly fast. One of the benefits of Facebook is that nearly everyone's on it. Anyone that you, as someone who's setting up an online business, is wanting to target or talk to is likely to be on Facebook, so it's a smart place to be. Facebook has incredible reach through advertising. So because there are so many people there and they want you to pay for advertising, they provide very good tools for you to be able to target people. So Facebook will enable you to reach a lot of people, but remember, through advertising. There are great features on Facebook, and Facebook is designed to provide a great community for all of us, separate to our business with on Facebook. And they're going to continue to add features that we all enjoy to build community together. What it means, though, for our business pages is they'll also continue to add features to that. So what do you get straight away for free on your Facebook page? You can obviously post copy and images, but there's ability to post video, things like this, Facebook Live. You can post events, so even events that you're not hosting on Facebook, that you're hosting somewhere else, you could promote through Facebook. And then they have the Messenger app, which is a platform they will continue to build. So you can have people that want to connect with you, message you on the Messenger app on your Facebook page, and then you can use features like ManyChat to do chatbot conversations where you can dialogue with people automatically without you having to be on the page. So great features on Facebook. And it's an ideal platform to build what we call in marketing speak the know, like, and trust feature. So when we talk about online marketing, what you really need to think about or be aware of is that if people are new to you and don't know you, you need to get them to like you. because we all buy from people we like, get to know you, like you, and trust you. And so by providing valuable content, by being visible on Facebook, you have the ability to do that. And then another thing that I think Facebook's good for is that when you are first starting out and you're not quite sure of maybe what you want to offer, what people are interested in, it's a platform that you can test your ideas and do some research on. So before maybe you jump into your website and invest time in there, you could use Facebook as a testing ground. And one element that I haven't got here that I will add in the features is Facebook groups. So Facebook groups can be very effective, and I think particularly, I had this with someone recently where they were wondering what their community would be interested in and was looking at which sort of website platform to set up. We definitely talked about how setting up a Facebook group would be a very quick way to create a community and then ask that community what they're looking for and get more closer to them before you invest time in your website. So quite a few pros there in the sense of for setting up a Facebook page when you're in business and particularly starting your online business. But there are some cons that you need to be aware of. So I'm just going to, all right, cons. I'm going to keep barreling on. So you need to be very aware that Facebook owns and controls the platform. They can actually shut down your account if you do something they deem is inappropriate to their rules and regulations. And they actively limit the reach of your followers. So when someone follows your Facebook page and then you post, I haven't got the exact percentage accurate, but if you think about between 2 to 6% of those followers are only likely to see what you post. So you might have noticed recently that in your own personal Facebook page that you might be starting to see different content. What Facebook has started to roll out globally is a change to their algorithm, and what they're saying is that if people don't engage in a Facebook post, they're going to diminish the chance of that being shared with your followers. So they are wanting content that looks like there is community and socialization with people. And so the pages that you really like and your friends and family are going to get priority in your feed. And just one thing I'll say right now is if you are still getting content in your feed from pages, business pages, and other people that you're not as keen on as other friends that you're like, why haven't I seen one of their posts for a while? You can go into your Facebook settings and choose, I think it's, is it 10 or 100, who you want to see first. So I've gone in and actually, based on the pages I follow and the people that I really enjoy what they share, I've chosen them to see their content first, and my feed, in my mind, for me, has improved a lot. So if you are liking the content I share and you want to make sure that you get notified when something happens, then, select me in one of those categories. So Facebook will limit the reach with your followers. And the reason they do that is, yes, to improve the quality of Facebook for users, but they also want you to pay for advertising. That's where they make their money. So what will happen is that as you pay for advertising, they'll reward you by sharing some of your other posts that you have not shared through advertising. You'll get more reach. But if you can imagine when you first set up your Facebook page, nobody even knows you exist apart from maybe some friends and family. So how do you get people to find you? And so you're likely going to need to do some initial advertising. And then let's imagine that you get to 100 followers, which is actually quite hard initially if you're doing passive content. So if it's only 2 to 6% of those people, 2 or 6 people, then your reach on your Facebook page could be very limited to start with. Facebook's also not ideal for payments or conversion. So if you are actually wanting to sell a product or a service, remember Facebook's good for know, like, and trust, and then you would normally drive them to, say, your website where they would buy something, or you might convert them, say, onto your email list. The other thing to bear in mind, depending on your business, is that people won't find your Facebook page if they Google you. So whenever we are all looking for something, when we have a problem, we all go to Google, and when you're setting up a business, you want your business website to be found on the front page of Google. So if you are very much setting up, let's say you are setting up a local photography business, or maybe you're doing local childcare or something that's a real local business, then you want to be found on Google, and if you prioritize your Facebook page, that won't get found to start with. And then the other thing you just need to remember is that mastering Facebook, the algorithm and how they'll reward you with visibility, and creating social content, images, video that people are going to like, will take time. So it's an ongoing thing that you'll need to do. So I'm just going to jump out of here for a second and just have a look at the main screen. All right, fantastic. Let me just go back here and let's keep going through this. So that's the pros and cons of Facebook. So let's now talk about setting up your website. So what is the pros of setting up a website? Well, the big one is that you own that asset. So different to Facebook, apart from maybe your hosting company going down, nobody can kick you out. Nobody can control what you share and how you share it. So your website online is a very powerful tool to pull people in and to communicate your message. It is a science. It is quite, some people are very good at this, creating copy and telling their story. But when you get it right, and you know this, when you go to some websites, they pull you in, and next minute you're interested in what they're offering, and you may be giving over your email address or calling them because they are going to solve the problem that you're trying to address, or you like what they're sharing, or it's entertaining, or something along those lines. So versus Facebook, where yes, you can do that over time by posting content, when someone first visits your website, you very quickly, if you do it well, can pull them in and convert them. Now, for an online business, a conversion could be getting their email address and building your list. Your website is very effective at doing that, and this is where you continue to have contact with people and to be able to give them value. Some people will buy from you straight away. Some people won't. They need time to see what you offer, see if they trust you, to see if whether they think they'll get value if they give you money. So the first step that you sometimes look to do is actually ask them to do something that has less risk, and that is to give an email to build connection. But some businesses, absolutely, a conversion could be for them to call you because you know in your business that by having a conversation you can identify what they need. Let's use that analogy again. If you're a photography business, if they call you and or you can then set an appointment and they come visit you, then your odds are higher that they'll buy your service. So websites are very effective at doing that. Not easy to achieve, but that's what they can do. And as I said, everybody's searching on Google. It's what we do. Even when we're on our couch at night and we're watching TV and we see an ad, we grab our phones, our tablets, and we'll Google something. So if you can leverage search engine optimization and build your website well, then you can potentially get found for free. And like I said, if you're a local business, it's very effective. But also, I think people have an expectation that they expect you to have a website today. So I know that when I go online and I'm looking for a service, if someone doesn't have a website, or they have a website that looks a lot out of date and not very functional, I sort of feel like we're not a match and I don't want to do business with them. So a website is a very powerful way for you to get synergy with someone. You can also on a website put code on it quite easily if you set up WordPress websites, where you can track the visitors that come to your website, whether they come to you from Facebook, come to you from Google, just happen to come to you directly, and then you can target your advertising to people that have visited you. And the reason you're going to do that is because of this know, like, and trust. When someone first visits your website, like I said, they may not want to buy straight away. But the more they start to see you in front of them through advertising, then they start to feel more comfortable with you. So there is a form of advertising called retargeting. It's literally that. Someone might see an advert from you or visit your web page, and then based on the behavior or the action they took on your website, you can present them an ad that makes sense with what they last did on your website. So let's say you are selling a service of some sort, and they didn't buy, but they spent a bit of time on your website and you have some free downloadable tools. Your next advert to them might be actually saying, because you already know they're pretty interested in what you offer, grab my free tools. And they may have missed them or just not done that in that moment, but are quite likely to do that from your next ad. And retargeting can actually sound a bit like stalking and feel a bit intrusive, but actually retargeting conversion is a lot higher than when people see your ad the first time. So retargeting does work. And remember, when you first go to do a website, I think initially when you think, right, I'm going to set up an online business, you want to get started straight away, you have your offer. But it is a business you're building and you need to leverage all those marketing tools that are available to you. So don't get overwhelmed with, I need the biggest website, I need everything in there, because that's not actually likely to work for you. If you have too much content, too much choice, people don't know what to do. So remember that even a one-page website can be very effective. When you first start, you're not looking for perfection, you're looking for momentum. So remember that even a one-pager can get you started. And then there are things called landing pages. They're slightly different to a website. They are still one page, but using other platforms that are designed as landing pages, they can enable you to have a couple of different pages that enable you to do what's called A/B testing. If you're not quite sure what offer is of interest to people, sort of imagery works, what sort of copy, you can actually use landing pages to test that and to test what converts. So a few pros there for websites, but there are some cons, obviously. So it does take more time to set up than a Facebook page. And you either, if you've got some money to put into a budget, might either spend some money or you're going to need to allocate some time and learning. My advice is that if you are starting your online business and you're in your day job, I think it's really good to invest the time yourself and learn some of these things. Even if you pay someone to do it for you, you might not get a very good website if you don't know how to brief someone in well. Because you're going to, we're going to have positive thinking here, because this is why we all do it. You're going to build your online business with the goal that it will transition you to a full-time employment, to full-time income. So as a small business owner, you are going to need to have some of this knowledge. And so what better time to learn it than when you're in your day job and you potentially have a bit of time to embed these skills. You will need to monitor your website to optimize it. So very similar to Facebook, where you can't just post something and it'll all just happen. You have to look at what people like and be aware of what sort of content seems to resonate. You will need to monitor your website, and you'll want to do that because you want to see which sort of content seems to get responses. If people aren't engaging, then you'll want to adjust and adapt. And you will still need to drive traffic to your website. My advice when you first set up a website is, yes, we want the free traffic through organic search in Google, but achieving that first page ranking can be quite hard. So my advice is to allocate a small budget to Google Adwords when you first launch your website, because to me what that does, it sends this really strong signal to Google that I'm very serious about my business. It sends lots of signals for Google to go, oh, come and read my website, so it looks at what you're doing. It also will drive you some traffic, so you get a bit of traffic to be able to see what they do. And it's the best way to get yourself onto that front page by spending the money at the start. If you spend money on Google later, you're going to have to spend more because Google will be looking at your website going, well, nobody's really been here. And so they will take longer for you to rank. So doing these things early actually pays off. And when I say a budget, not a lot. $200, $500 to start with really is a good investment in Google AdWords when you start your website. But again, I will say this. I see a lot of people posting that they got no results from Google AdWords. And I hate to say it, it's probably because they didn't realize that you can't just run some ads and that they'll perform. Again, you have to do some work and optimize them. And if that's a topic that you're interested in, I can talk to that, having run Google AdWords campaigns myself. So there are some pros and cons to setting up a Facebook page straight away and investing some time in your website. So how do you know which one you should go with? The reality is that for most of you, for an online business, you will need a Facebook page anyway. But you're probably going to need a website as well. And if you set up a Facebook page straight away but nobody comes and you spend all this time on social posting, you could get very disheartened. So this is my advice, and probably where the red flag comes up for me, because I'm viewing this that you're taking your business very seriously. Might be something you do part-time, but it's your future. You're building your future. So I think this comes back to a strategy conversation. And my question to you would be, what is your business and marketing strategy, and have you even got one? I think that if you're not sure yet what to do, which is really normal, you would be better to sit down and think through your business goals and your marketing strategy. And then that will drive your decision making. Because like I say, at some point you're going to need both of them, but you're going to need to decide, what do I do first and what are my goals and objectives with each one? And I suppose the very first question you have to ask from a marketing point of view is, the audience that I need to attract and talk to, are they on Facebook? So like I said, for a lot of you, Facebook will be very powerful. But for some businesses, it won't be Facebook, or it could be, but something like Instagram could be more powerful. So this is why I think you would be better, before answering this question, to think through your marketing strategy. And I'm not going to talk through marketing strategy today because that's another long conversation, and we've already spent a lot of time on this call today. If you're not sure how to even start with a marketing strategy, or sometimes, as I find, people say to me, I'm going to go online and get a business planning tool, and I do cringe at that, because having been in business, corporate business for many years, and I've built many presentation decks, I suppose my belief in this environment is you don't need a really big business planning tool for an online business. For some businesses, absolutely you do, but for a lot of you, you're not going to need a big document. And so I think to initially get your head clear, there's some simpler ways to approach it. So if this is a topic that you are maybe avoiding, you're not sure what to do, maybe you're thinking, I'm not a business person, I'm a creative, or this doesn't sound like fun, let me know, add a comment below, because this is an area that I'm really passionate about. I love strategy, and I think strategy is really important. I'm a doer. I like to get on with stuff, but I like to do it based on a really good plan. So if this is something you'd like me to talk about in one of our weekly Facebook Lives, let me know. Also, though, this might be something that if you're really serious about starting your business this year, you might want to have a one-on-one session. So I am thinking about doing an intensive day on this sort of thing. I do think that a strategy takes more than a 1 hour session. You can lay some thinking. I also think, though, that a good strategy you sometimes need to sleep on and come back to. So I am thinking of offering some intensive day modules. So if that's something of interest, let me know. So, covered a lot today and a lot for you to think about. And like I said, the weekly edition will be weekly for a wee while. So what would you like me to cover next? Let me know. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. Wonder how I do that. Actually, I'll tell you what, maybe let's get rid of that. I think maybe there we go. Fantastic. All right. So, comment below if there's some topics that you would like me to cover. I love teaching and I love passing on knowledge, but I'm also very mindful that mindset is really important in building a business. And having built my own side hustle when I was in my day job, I was in corporate land for a long time and I saw myself as a corporate person. So even now I'm still going through mindset challenges as a new entrepreneur and really spending a lot of time on that. So if that's something where if you're saying, I don't have the confidence or the courage to start, let me know if those are some topics you'd also like us to touch on. So thank you. And if you're watching the replay, thank you very much. Please comment below if there's anything I can help with, if there's anything you'd like me to add, or you can jump onto the Facebook page and send me a note on Messenger, and you can go on my list to be notified when we're doing, what topics I'll be covering each week in the weekly edition. So have a fantastic week, make the most of it, and definitely have downtime. Valentine's Day for us yesterday. Make sure that you're giving yourself some good quality time to love on yourself. And we'll talk next week.